you, Fernanda. So, so there was some really interesting themes that have come out across the speakers, and some that I picked up on was that consumers feel that information is missing, but then on the other hand, consumers mistrust when there is too much information and too much emphasis on repairability. It raises concern that the product might be not that good in the first place. And also consumers don't necessarily consider repairability when they're at the purchase stage. Also, unavailability of repair services and unavailability of parts, difference between the global north and the global south, but a real issue in some areas of the south. And concerns about where product ends up. So are consumers thinking about where product ends up? And this is a real concern. And then the economic equation, is it more expensive to repair, or how can we make that affordable? And also, how can we make repair easier? The skills dimension, how do we support consumers in terms of self-repair? So with those points in mind, I'm just going to open up to the panel some questions. And the first question is, what are the main challenges consumers face that prevent them to use products for longer? And I'm just going to start with Garrett, because I think you had some information on that. So if I could ask Garrett that question to start with, and then if the other speakers would like to come in, just put your hand up and I'll refer to you. Thank you.
Sure, I'm happy to give an initial response. I have to say that I know a lot about many things since we cover lifestyles and everything. And now, after these excellent presentations, I know a lot more about repairability. So it's really been already a wonderful experience. So some of the points that sort of teased out of the conversation is, and people mention this, is that there's this increasing trend that people tend not to consider repairability something that they look forward to or that they find easy to do, and that they almost have an aspiration to be able to not have to just easily go out and buy something else. So to me, the comments that I would mention about how to do it better is how to make within sort of cultural norms. And I love the comments that came in from the person in the chat about fashion, is that if our cultural norms are highlighting that people go out and buy new stuff all the time, how are we going to go out and say, no, we have to save it and work on it when only it's our grandparents who are saying things like that? So how can we make more sort of trending cultural influencers, whatever they may be, to have that kind of messaging? And I think that's a big part of it. But I think the other point is you have to make it accessible, easy, and not, you can't have it out there because it's the right thing to do or because it's for sustainability. It needs to be part of fitting into a lifestyle. So I don't think those comments get it exactly what you're looking for. I don't know if there's a magic bullet on this one, but it is something to take into account that people do get a lot of information. It just may not be about, improving sustainability aspects. So we've got to recognize where that's coming from and deal with it.
Renska, would you like to respond to that, to the question, what are the main challenges consumers face that prevent them from using products for longer? Could you expand maybe on your research a little more? Thank you.
For why they don't use products longer, I think there's a combination. Sorry.
Sorry, Garrett. I was asking Renska if she would like to.
Sorry.
But do continue. Sorry if you're not.
I think Renska has probably good insights on this one.
Thank you, Lynn, and also Garrett. I believe you make a very valid comment on this, on social media and influencing people, advocating more for repairability. This could not only be a governmental responsibility to tackle. So I think that was a very nice one. I think I believe I really also like the comment of the other speakers about increasing the more convenient repair services. I believe that it's very important in this topic, that the replacement of a product, at least here in Europe, it's so easy just to click to buy a new product, and next day you get it delivered at your home, and the other product is taken away, and they say they take care of it, and you don't know actually where it ends up, but at least it's out of your responsibility. So I believe that increasing repair service in terms of time, and also I really liked the pickup delivery of Cormartech, if I pronounce it correctly, that at the home service. I really believe that that could increase repair services. So we just have to make them more convenient and more efficient. And I believe that we can gain a lot from here. And also in the traceability of repair services platforms, where you can find people that actually can repair your products, can really enhance that. Yeah, those are quite barriers for repair, because these replacement services are so convenient. So I would like to emphasize a bit also more on this after presenting my results.
Thank you. And Melina, in terms of consumers and prevention, you know, as an organisation that is encouraging repair and completely immersed in engaging consumers in repair, what do you think the main barrier is? What do you see? Organisation.
Well, like putting aside everything that is in relation to the right to repair, no, that products are not black boxes, but they have spare parts, that we have access to manuals for like regular users and repairers as well, that they use simple tools in order to repair. I mean, when that is already forward, I think also what repair brings, it's a huge frustration as consumers, because most of the times it takes time, and it can also fail because it's not 100% efficient. So I think what we realized in our organization is what's really valuable is building community and building networks, just to share that frustration, to share the success as well, but also to actually learn from each other. There's a huge value there, because the whole repair trade has changed a lot with time. Some devices, some trades basically went extinct, and they are only left with some people that still know the trade, but that no longer provide the service. So I think the connecting and networking alongside with the challenge of repair is super relevant.
Thank you. I'm going to move on to the next question now, and this is for the panel. In your opinion, what initiatives companies should develop to help consumers extend the lifetime of products? And I'm going to start with Vinash. In terms of Vinash, what do you see would initiatives companies should develop?
Thank you, Lynn, for the question. One of the things, I believe, companies should, look into is design for repair. While developing certain products, they should take into account, if something malfunctions or defects occurs in the product, going forward when consumers actually purchase it. So when we take into account design for repair, it means there are facilities, the expertise, and people actually have the capacity within the company and within the country actually to repair the product, and to extend the product lifetime as well. So I think that's one of the key things, companies, they can actually look at. And another, actually in Fiji's context, I would say that, because most of the products, they're not manufactured locally, they're imported. I think responsibility also lies with the regulators as well as the companies who are actually importing these particular products, to see that when the products which they are importing actually it is suitable for this particular country, as well as they have the capacity to actually repair those products if need be as well. because when they do not have the capacity to actually repair these products, for even minor defects, when these defects actually occur, actually it is a huge expense to the consumer. The product lifetime shortens, and consumers, they also end up spending a lot more than they would have otherwise in other countries as well. So in this way, because of the geography, the location, consumers in this particular, because we're an island nation, we find a special set of challenges which other countries may not face. If the same issue had existed in another country, may have, because they have accessibility to repairability, they'll be able to repair the product. However, consumers here, they're not able to. So they are disadvantaged because of their location as well. I
Okay,
hope
so you're saying legislation, and are you advocating for more legislation on product longevity?
That's one of the things actually. So Lynn, just to add on that as well. So as for variety of issues, it will actually need variety of solutions as well. So one of the things which we actually did is we actually proposed, because we are we'll act as an independent advocacy organization. We actually made a submission a while ago to the government actually for the introduction of standards on electrical products which are actually imported into Fiji as well. So, fortunately, because we were successful in this currently, these standards are currently being developed by the government as well. So at least, this will provide some sort of actually assistance to consumers in Fiji.
And will these standards be voluntary or mandatory?
So that's actually, in process. Actually, they are launching, a public consultation as well. A task force has also been formed, which actually, working on, these technical bits of it currently.
Okay, thank you very much. And if I could just ask you, Vinash, in your opinion, what initiatives should companies develop to help consumers extend the life of products? And in fact, Priti Shah in the chat has asked, how does the cost of repair at Karmatech compare with company authorized repair centres? So maybe not focusing on the detail of that question, but if you could just expand on some of the things that you're doing to develop, to help consumers with repair.
Is that for Vinash? That's for me. That's for Krunal, right?
So Krunal, sorry, for Krunal.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Sorry, I'm looking
No,
right
that's
at
completely
you.
okay.
Sorry.
No, that's completely okay. No problem. So, just to answer the specific question, we ourselves are authorized repair partners for many, many companies. We are authorized repair partners for the likes of the Samsungs and the Xiaomi and the Realme and all these mobile phone companies. Over and above that, we are partners with the companies like Tata Sky, which is one of the India's largest repair set-top box and broadcasting company. We have repair partners like Amazon, with whom we provide all the repair services and authorized services to all the partners that actually get the repairs and repair services from the products from Amazon. So what we have been constantly doing is having the authorization from all these OEMs, as we say, and we have all the spare parts that are required, the spare parts that are actually used to give the authenticity of the quality of the product and all. We ensure that the end consumer has a great experience whenever they receive a repaired product. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And would Renska, would you like to respond to that question in terms of what initiatives companies could develop? I mean, you're coming from the consumer side, but what suggestions do you see in terms of this question and how companies can support consumers?
Thank you for this question. I can see some suggestions on several dimensions. First, on the product design level, just simply making products being perceived as repairable, because nowadays we see a lot of products that a consumer looks at it and doesn't know how to take it apart at all, and components are also glued together. A colleague of mine spent a couple of weeks in the lab dismantling these products, and even tape and glue was used to connect all the parts together. So I think there, in the product design for a product to be repaired, you can already gain a lot. So that's on the product design component. On the service level, as I already mentioned, it's very important to make a repair service for manufacturers more convenient in terms of time, and also to be competitive to what replacement services offered by other retail sellers that offer new products for competitive prices. So yeah, there's also something to gain. To invest in for manufacturers to develop more convenient repair services. And regarding business models, I believe also a lot can be gained here is, for example, if a consumer, if the manufacturer keeps the ownership of a product, it has a totally different incentive to design a product. If you lease, for example, a washing machine, and the manufacturer of this washing machine keeps ownership of the washing machine and makes sure it properly works for the consumer always, and the consumer pays a monthly fee, then the manufacturer is indirectly stimulated to design products that are more durable because he can gain more money from a very durable washing machine. So that's also an initiative for manufacturers to consider if they want to offer more durable products and also make profits from this. Yeah, and next to that, also a comment that I see popping up in the chat. I didn't read it fully, but it's about extended warranties that could be offered by manufacturers. We also see in literature and previous research that really stimulates repair activities. If it breaks down within the warranty, consumers really feel like a waste if they don't go back to the manufacturer and ask for repair from them. So those are my 4 suggestions for industry to consider.
Thank you very much. And we've just got a few minutes left, and we have one final question, which is quite important in relation to the context we're here today. So in your view, what would be the role of consumer organisations in supporting consumers to extend the lifetime of products? And I'd like to start with Garrett on that one.
Okay, I have an interesting answer because I know that we've been looking at how to do some fashion repairability issues. It could be interesting to have consumer information organizations work to bridge sort of the need to go to new business models. And because I know right now it's about providing consumers information, working with the industry to sort of ensure that the information works. But we're also talking about a world where we need new business models. So to take from what the last conversations were about repairability, at least around fashion, it could be a new business model to have like vintage clothes stores, not just offer clothing, but to offer sort of a broader picture of clothes, or to sort of cover yourself, identify yourself, become, you know, more into how you want to present your identity to the world. But see if there could be a way in which they could help find new ways and businesses for repairability to embrace more than just fixing stuff and the logistics, and make it kind of cool and interesting. And I know in Paris, they're doing things around having stylists come and help you rework your whole look, and vintage clothing is part of that. So it's not a super clear answer, but it's something I think we need to think about. Is we're looking at new business models in the future, and how best can we all work towards developing them. And clearly consumer information organizations are right in the middle of all of this, so it would be great to have their support in doing that.
Do any of the other speakers like to jump in on this one? Does anyone share?
Okay, maybe I will, just to add a little bit to what Garrett was saying, that if actually, yeah, businesses and companies commit to durability, it is quite radical what can happen to those operations. So I think that consumer organizations have a role in kind of reaching the connections and the communications among consumers and companies in order to push and demand like better services, better products, longer lasting products, and more responsibility in the whole cycle of these devices. So I think once again, this function of networking and just connecting and empowering consumers is strictly and very necessary.
Certainly, I know at British Standards Institute, beginning to look at how we develop standards to support consumers in terms of product lifetime extension. But thing about standards is that they are voluntary, and so it's how do we develop mandatory legislation, and how do consumer organisations really campaign for legislation that supports product life extension. Can I ask, have any of you involved in pushing for legislation, getting involved in implementing the consumer side of extending the life of products? Have you experiences where you have seen change? Garrett, for example, have you seen an impact of your work? There were some questions in the chat about how do we know that consumer behaviour change is happening? How do when we our consumer organisations put messages out there, how do we know consumer behaviour? Any evidence of that?
Well, actually, it's interesting that advertisers and marketers know a whole lot about consumer behavior, and it kind of drives a lot of the work that they've done. We've caught up with, we do some parallel like scanning on just what's available in the public area and follow the trends on what people are really interested in now. And we usually try and couch what we're presenting on promoting sustainability within like people are more interested in well-being because of COVID. So rather than going out and saying sustainability, we're trying to use well-being because that seems to resonate with people. So I think that there are groups that are doing this, and to be honest, we cover 5 domains, so we're like experts on food, mobility, housing, and leisure, and it goes into a lot of details. So do we know exactly if it's working or not? I think the reality is what would be great is to realize that those myths that were presented is that in the 1990s and the 2000s, we thought that if we just presented the right thing, people would do it. And we realize that's not working. So if we can find what does work with getting people, is it like getting use those skills and talents to do that? And I think people who've been working in the environmental space for a while tend to sort of not want to use those tools because they feel it's kind of tricking people or it's not appropriate. And there's a good conversation in there somewhere. So I think there is some change to people's behavior, but I think if you only use certain words to measure it or look for it, you might be missing some of the bigger picture. So I'm happy to share whatever we have on people and consumer information. I tend to be more of the let's look at the myths on what we think works and make sure that we're going in the right direction. But anyway, I hope that's helpful.
Thank you very much. But I think, do we think we agree that we do need to measure how behaviour changes happen, how we can really evaluate what's worked and what hasn't worked? We have a couple of minutes left, 1 minute basically, and I just want to say that the chat has been really busy, some brilliant questions there. Everything is going to be collated and shared. And I just want to check if you had any more problems with putting your own hints and tips in the, please put them in the chat in the last 2 minutes. Would anyone does anyone have any final comments to make, or can I just like to hand over to Fernanda for a final
I think I would like to just say that, thank you so much for this great opportunity and bringing this up, and everybody over here at the panel to speak so well about, the repairability and, how the world is facing this big, it's a ticking time bomb as we speak. The electronic waste is a ticking time bomb on all of us. While we at Karmatech would also love to probably be, as we say, the repair hub to the world. We would love to be the repair hub to the world, where we can bring, definitely with our expertise, we can definitely bring, all the electronic products with the help of our government. Yes, we are working with the government, with a lot of support of the government. We are also looking at providing repairs to the world by bringing in electronic products from across the globe, bringing it to some specific economic zones, as we call them. Once we are able to bring it there. We are actually working. We are in the process to be doing that. Once we are able to do so, I'm sure we'll be able to give this kind of facilities that we or the capabilities that we have to the entire world, helping probably repair one electronic product at a time and saving the world every second that we are repairing the product. Thank you so much for this opportunity once again, everyone. Thank you.
Fantastic, and that sounds like a great ambition, Krunal, and a great place to end. Fernanda, thank you very much for allowing me to moderate. Do you have some closing remarks for us? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lynn, for the moderation. That was great to have the chance to watch this lively discussion. And as you said, of course, we are going to share the notes with all of you. The notes will definitely include also the discussions that we can see in the chat. Thank you very much for that. But just very briefly before we end, I just wanted to share also the results from the poll, the quick poll, and these will also be shared with you. I guess you can still see my screen, right? Okay, so these are basically just very quickly, responses that we got from the question, what is the one thing you do to extend the lifetime of your products? So basically taking good care of products, repair them, use screen protectors, try to repair, learn from others, enjoy mending my clothing, that one is really nice. Use the original accessories, cable and batteries of the product, follow instructions, taking care again, handle products with care again, try to buy products which is made from higher quality raw material, be careful with charging to extend battery lifetime, use a cell phone case. We have loads of other answers for this question. We'll also share these results with all of you. And with further ado, I would like to thank you very much again, Lynn, for the moderation, and again, all the speakers. So thank you very much, Garrett. Thank you very much, Ransk, Vinash, Melina, Krunal. Thank you so much for your participation. That was really, really helpful for all of us and super enlightening. We'll share definitely the presentation materials with all of you. That's it. So thank you very much. Have a good afternoon or good day.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Thanks. Bye-bye.
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 Great to meet everyone.
Bye.
Bye.